Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're in the garden and we're gonna do some maintenance. I desperately need to deadhead a whole bunch of plants and just clean up some plants and maybe some weeding. So we're just gonna comb through the yard. I have 3 buckets with me, one for yard debris, one for seed heads so I could collect seeds or collect the seed heads for dried flower arrangements in the future, and one has a little bit of water for any flowers that I might need to cut off for the plant, to make the plant grow better. But I don't want to sacrifice the flowers necessarily because I have the time to do it right now. I don't want to wait for that flower to be done. So I'll probably cut the flowers and put them in a flower arrangement. So I'm going to have some water available so I can just stick them right in some water and then I'll make an arrangement later. But seriously, this garden is looking very tired in the end of July here. And it's really time to get out here and do some maintenance. So the overall garden has lost a little bit of color, you could see here, because it needs to either rejuvenate or it just needs to be deadheaded. So like I've got a bunch of seed heads from the lupin that are done. You can see their flowers are spent and they've set seed. I've got just big giant stalks from the lilies that these ones are fine, but this is bloomed out and done. I've got tons of daylilies. Daylilies are called daylilies because they bloom for one day and then their blooms are done. So I need to take a bunch of those off so when the new ones do open up, they're like fresh and beautiful. I've got roses to cut back, and I'm not going to really get into weeding, but if I see some that are just obnoxious, obviously I'll take those out. I've got things like this garlic is done. Look at this. It's just totally done. Easy to clean up, just easy maintenance, but a lot of it to do. So let's get started. This area really needs some work. We've got alliums that need to be cut back. We have columbine that needs to be spread around and cut down. We've got skyrocket that needs to be cut down. More alliums, more columbine. It just looks like a mess right now. And over here, I need to stake up my gladiolas, which are starting to bloom. Aren't they beautiful? And cut back my lady's mantle. The cosmos is starting to bloom. Isn't that so sweet? This is such a beautiful cosmos. I've got still some leftover irises that need to be cut back. So yeah, everything's just kind of getting messy and tired looking. That looks so much better. It looks like I can breathe now. All the little dead pieces in it. I did leave the seed heads on the yellow-eyed grass because I want this to clump out and keep growing in this garden. So I'm allowing that to reseed. And then this is my newest red columbine. So I'm leaving that there to just seed right around itself. Everything else got cut back. And then over here as well, I staked up my glads and cut back the lady's mantle, cut down some old iris blooms. And then we were noticing that Mr. Lincoln finally has some buds on it. 4 months after all the roses over there started blooming. Maybe it's because this shades it. I don't know. It's growing beautifully. All right, well, that took about an hour and a half, and I got everything deadheaded and trimmed back. I didn't do any major pruning. There wasn't a whole lot of weeding to do. It was just about making the garden look a little bit more tidy for the summer. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I did. To begin with, I tucked my jasmine up into its trellis and I cut back these pansies. I left some blooms. Same with these ones as well. I cut the bottom pansy stragglers off and let the top canopy keep going. I took off a bunch of dead rose campion. I didn't get all of them, but they look like this, like little seed heads. They just make the plant look a little bit messy. So I tried to, at least on the walkway edges, to have them nice and clean. Over here, I just cleaned up some hostas. I pulled some weeds. I picked any leaves off that were scorched. And I cut all of the flowers off this lady's mantle. This lady's mantle is still looking great. It's protected. It's not in a lot of sun, so it still looks pretty good. Oh, and I cut back some of this Pearly Everlasting that was extra tall and just left this layer blooming so I could slowly start drying them for dried flowers. In this pot, these are not quite fully dried yet, so I'm letting them dry on their stalks, but I did just try to clean up all their leaves. I trimmed back the thyme. I trimmed back some of the lily stalks. I deadheaded the daylilies, both of the daylilies. On this side over here, I deadheaded roses, put some roses up in their trellis properly, and I think that was it over here, mostly just deadheading roses. I did trim off a dahlia clump that was really thick, and one bloom was spent, so I'll use the other two blooms in an arrangement. Over here, I cut back the heuchera stems and just tidied up all of this, cut back the veronica. It'll reflush. You could see in here, like right here, you see this little tiny bud? That will become a full stalk. So I just went in and, you know, took these ones off and then left the little guys so that they'll bloom. And in the baskets, I just trimmed around the edges on the bottoms so that they're just nice and tidy. I cut back the Celine. It was just getting unruly, and I can dry those flowers. Really need to do anything in that container. And then out here, I trimmed back all of the alliums and the columbine and pulled all the baby staghorn sumacs that were kind of all in through here. Pulled some weeds out of here, cut back the lady's mantle here, which gives that dahlia room to breathe, and this baby crocosmia, which is yellow, a chance to bloom and show off. That's the typical rose, or excuse me, that's the typical. The red flower there is your standard Lucifer crocosmia. This yellow one is pretty small. My understanding, it's not quite that small, but it doesn't get as tall as the Lucifer. Then I staked up my gladiolas, which are looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at this yellow one already. Look at that. Isn't that super cool? Yes, indeed. And then I cut back the lady's mantle over here. Give you my pruners. And I cut back the poppy seed heads and just trimmed up my canomalies because it was getting really leggy. That's pretty much it for the front garden. And Spencer cut back a whole bunch of the native oxeye daisies, which makes a huge difference over there. It's just, oh, because you can't see anything because of the crocosmia. But just all of that's all clean now. It looks so much better. You can actually see the goat's beard blooming. The two varieties over here blooming. I've got this one, the white, and the pink. Beautiful. Next, we'll tackle the medicine garden, and I gotta tie up my crocosmia. It's down, you know, in the walkway here. Other than that, pretty much good to go. So that's it for the front yard summer maintenance. We really just have a couple more months of all this color to go, and then it'll be a whole new, a whole other type of maintenance of cutting down the perennials and trimming back all of the shrubs and everything like that. But for tonight, it feels really good just to have it clean and all the flowers that are here blooming, looking really good, and not getting crowded out by all the like dead debris that was out here. So anyways, I hope you're having a great day and you're celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.